All right, welcome back to Fucking Socks the Podcast, episode 49. Today on the show, this girl is blaming her fatness on white people. Jimmy Kimmel did a bit at the Emmys that landed flat, and we're going to tell you why it wasn't a white privilege racist incident. Richard Ratboy lost his #1 fan. A Clydesdale got attacked by a Pitbull, and you're not going to believe who saved the day. And stay until the end. We're going to tell you why you shouldn't care about The Little Mermaid. All this and more. It's Fucking Socks the Podcast, episode 49, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
Fucking Socks the Podcast featuring Richard Ratboy. All right, this week's episode is brought to you by our friends over at My Patriot Supply. Guys, there's a lot of supply chain issues. Farmers are warning about food shortages coming soon as maybe this winter. Now is the time to prepare. My Patriot Supply is offering a massive sale, $250 off of a 3-month supply of food. This is breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, enough food to feed someone for a solid 3 months. Now is the time to prepare. Go to preparewithfleckis.com and pick up your 3-month emergency food supply kit now. It's easy to store. You can put it in the attic, in the garage, in the basement. Keep it for a rainy day. Hopefully you'll never need it. But how bad would it be if you did need it and you didn't have it? There's really no excuse to not be prepared at this point. We see what's going on with the food shortages, the supply crunch, the supply line issues. We don't trust Joe Biden. He's not a competent president. Why would you put your trust in him at this moment? You owe it to yourself and your family to be prepared. Get this 3-month food supply at the lowest price My Patriot Supply has ever offered, $250 off. That is a massive, massive sale. Go pick yours up today. Preparewithfleckis.com is the website. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, housekeeping. Thank you to My Patriot Supply for sponsoring this week's show. Housekeeping, we have some very important things to get to. Guys, new heart problem list just dropped, things that are causing heart problems for young people in their 20s this time. People are having issues with herbal supplements. Herbal supplements are the new thing causing heart problems in young people. It's just herbal supplements and tea and sleeping and all those things. Joy added to the list now. If you guys are playing bingo at home, I think someone's probably got it at this point.
Yeah, with the free space included, someone's hit it. It says heart arrhythmias caused by herbal supplements. So
those herbal supplements we've been taking for, thousands of years, turns out is doing some bad things to young people with their hearts.
Yep.
All right, we have a very important housekeeping. What's up, dog?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
Yeah. So I thought it'd be funny to do a bit where, that thing like, oh, this smells like up, dog. And then someone goes, what's up, dog? And then they say, what's up, dog? But then when you see someone who you're hanging out with, just be like, hey, what's up, dog? And you kind of say it in the same tone. And it's like appropriating the bit or like reusing the bit in a different way, like the backwards way.
Backwards.
So what's up, dog?
Nothing much.
I'm going to try it. You guys should try it at home. I highly recommend it. Richard Ratboy, you lost your #1 fan just recently.
Yeah, man.
Look
Hate
at
to
this
see him.
clip.
You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Sad to see him go, Richard Ratboy. This guy loved you before. He had you tattooed on his face.
Yeah, man. I wonder what I did to upset him, but clearly something, because the face tat, the forehead tat is gone. Could you imagine, Richard Ratboy is almost an embarrassing name?
Yeah.
And can you imagine putting Ratboy on your forehead so the first thing people see is Ratboy?
Not good.
Crazy.
Do not recommend.
Yeah, so would you ever get a Fleckis logo type tattoo or anything Fleckis?
No.
What tattoo would you get? Would you ever get any?
I would get a corny, a sailor tattoo that says mom with the heart in it, like those old, from the 50s.
Yeah. Those are good. The 50s ones, that's kind of pure Americana.
Yeah,
so
just a corny mom sailor tattoo I would get on my arm or my shoulder.
For sure.
That's pretty much it. What about you?
Nothing other than Ratboy on the face, but nothing.
Yeah. So that guy made a decision and then he reversed field.
I feel like for tattoos, there's either two types of people. It's you're fully tattooed everywhere or you have one stupid tattoo. So I would hate to be the one stupid tattoo guy,
Yeah.
That's just my thought.
100p. All right. Last week we spoke about the tracksuits that we ordered. Mine has arrived. This is what it's looking like.
Yep.
looks good, looking mean, not looking like Vito Spatafore, looking like some other guy from The Sopranos who's more fit than Vito.
What about your beard in that? You think it's in disarray? You think it's out of order?
Yeah, Richard Ratboy called my beard cartoonish.
Yeah. He's a schizo cartoon guy, like mafia. I don't even know what to call it. Villain.
Yeah, but I like it, and I walk around the streets here in New Orleans, and it's like an interesting look, and I think it gives me character.
And what about your old looks? You got anything old?
Yes, I actually do, and that's a really
That's my transition.
You really transitioned that perfectly, which I didn't expect from you. No offense, but yeah, I do have 3 important things to say in the housekeeping. And number 1, I invented the Zoomer cut.
The bussin' cap
The
cut?
bussin' Gen Z young kid haircut, like the fluff on the top of the head. Here's me like 3 years ago with that haircut. I invented this haircut and I didn't even want it. And I gave it back. Like I was like, here's what it looks like. Everyone saw it, let it marinate for a couple of years. Now everyone's doing it. And I tried it for like a couple weeks and I dumped it. I shaved my head after. It looks stupid. So I invented the Zoomer cut. I didn't even want it and I gave it back.
Credit where it's due. And when Chris Pine becomes a full lady, credit's where it's due again. Because
I'm really glad we got that on the record. So yeah, I have those 3 things. So number 2, the movie Flubber. I watched that the other day. I've been on a little bit of a Robin Williams binge the last few days.
what else do you watch?
I watched Bicentennial Man as well. But the movie Flubber, there's a scene in Flubber where Robin Williams picks up his wife, who like didn't believe in him, and he's
like a scientist trying to do a breakthrough with Flubber,
yeah,
right?
and he's like a nut schizo, and he's always like putting his wife and family second, and he's kind of like gets lost in his thoughts, and he's one of those like genius guys who just can't like keep a schedule. So he picks up his wife, and he's been working on Flubber for a long time. She's mad at him because he's always flaking and not paying attention. He picks her up.
Kind of similar to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Very
Robin
similar.
Williams plays this perpetual like
Very
letdown
similar.
guy.
Exactly. Genius letdown guy. So Robin Williams in Flubber picks up his wife in a flying car, like a 50s Cadillac or something, that he put a little bit of Flubber in and the whole car flies. And they're flying around, they're like flying through space like an airplane. And they stop and he's like, "Isn't this great?" And then the wife turns to him because there's like some side story in the movie about like the school having a problem and they're going to have to close the school. And so they're flying in the car in space and his wife turns to him and says, "This is so great. Now we can save the school." After inventing Flubber, you put the Flubber in the car. No other technology is needed and the car's flying.
Flubber knows what to do.
Yeah, you've created like a sentient being in Flubber that knows what to do. None of the laws of physics apply to this gel rubber thing that you made up. It's like a sentient being that like can talk and communicate and knows every reference ever. And it flies the car from the 50s for free, no technology or anything. So you basically created free energy. Yeah. And now the wife says, "Now we can save the school." It's like you're going to get assassinated by the FBI. Like the CIA is coming to your house and they're going to steal all your stuff and probably kill you.
Yeah, there's 50 other things that you'd say before, "Let's save the school." Like, we're billionaires. Yeah. We just discovered perpetual energy. China probably wants this.
Yeah, they're already copying it, but we're going to save the school. You stupid bitch.
Small-minded shit.
Stupid bitch. All right, that was number 2. Number 3, I have an unpopular opinion. Maybe some people will agree. I don't think Britney Spears should have broken that conservatorship she had. I think she needed it.
That's incredibly fair.
I want to get on the record with that. Everyone's like, "Oh, free Britney. No one should have this. Like, she's like a slave and like her family is locking her up or whatever." Unpopular opinion. Britney Spears needed that conservatorship and now she doesn't have it. And I think you're going to see her
Spiral out of control
in a bad direction.
What are you basing that off of? Like, what have you seen?
Just the vibes.
I've seen all the videos of her like doing like really kind of creepy dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've seen. But you haven't. There's nothing else that you want to.
I just don't think she's mentally all there, and I think people are assuming she is and pretending she is because she's been such like a great singer and artist and performer, and it's like, oh, if she does all that, like she must be normal, and her family's just trying to steal her money and control her. I think she's got some real mental issues. And that conservatorship maybe like was basically keeping her like alive and like in a routine and stuff with some structure. And now that that's gone, I think you're going to see her go bad.
Okay.
So I just want to get on the record with that.
Fair prediction. I kind of agree based on what I've seen on social media and
You'll
stuff.
see. We're still in housekeeping. We have a little bit of a funny bit section of housekeeping. These are just some funny bits. Let's do the first one, how much to leave your job. The reason I think this is so funny is because we talked about this like kind of a few weeks ago.
The TikTok trends.
The TikTok trend where like some guy walks into a store and like there's a person behind him filming like this. And he's like, hey, can you buy these diapers for me? And the person kind of knows there's like a video like in their peripheral. They kind of see someone filming. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And it's like,
here's $1,000.
Yeah, because you helped me,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you $1,000. And the person cries. So we made the joke that like whenever someone asks you for like a favor and you kind of see someone filming, you're in a TikTok video, you have to say yes. That's why you say yes. So the people, these two clips coming up, they've taken that dynamic and they ran with it. And I really like where they took it.
They subverted it.
Yeah.
This, please. Oh,
I'll grab another one after this. I'll hang on that one for you.
Okay, yeah. I just noticed that now.
Yeah, it probably still works just fine, but you know.
Yeah, it's like my private area. Sir, how much to quit your job right now on the spot?
I wouldn't even know how much to say, honest.
Like $1,000 over under?
I don't know, over probably.
Really?
Yeah.
7?
7 grand?
7 grand, you think you would?
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
All right, thank you.
That's it. $7 grand to quit your job. Yeah. All right. Bye.
And you could tell he sees the camera too. That cuts to it. It's like, yeah. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. That's so good. I love that.
No
There's
intent-
another one. Play that next one too.
And can you pick a number between 1 and 10? 4?
Okay, a 4. All right. All right, here you go. Okay. Here you go. We're just trying to spread some kindness. All right. Give back to the community. You know, bless somebody's day. All right. There's 4 bowling pins for you. Yeah, thanks, man. You have a great day. You too.
The guy thought he was going to get like, that's 40 grand or something. You know, here's 4 bowling pins.
You're stuck with bowling pins now. You can't leave them here. Like you have to take them home in a backpack.
It's so good. And like you thought you were getting into a TikTok. This will go viral, millions of views. Some TikTok Zoomer is going to give me 15 grand.
Yeah.
Going to save my life. And it's just, here's 4 bowling pins. So it's good to see that out there. That's really important.
Me too.
All right. Next funny bit. This jersey, football season has started.
It's a Rams game.
It's a Rams game. Look at this Rams game custom jersey.
January
6th.
And he kind of looks like an Asian guy or maybe Latino.
Hey, I love that.
He's doing bits.
That's top tier stuff. That's top tier bit. And then our last clip from our
nothing
funny
to add.
bits.
He's a big fan.
He's huge. And if that's you, we'll send you a base mug.
Yeah.
Shoot us a DM. We'll send you a base mug.
For real.
Imagine the people in LA stadium.
in LA too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Where it's at. Our last piece of funny bits, Dash Dabrowski, our favorite person. I don't want to take credit, but the person we've basically king made. I king made Dash Dabrowski.
you brought some awareness to
Like
the
I was
right.
seeing his stuff get posted, and I'm in like every hole on the internet. I'm in the Democrat hole. I'm in the leftist crazy progressive hole. I'm in the right wing hole.
Yeah.
And
He's digging around. He's
I'm
in every
always
nook
digging
and cranny.
around. The algorithm's feeding me all this stuff, and I was seeing Dash Dabrowski posts where he was getting like 200 likes. So I was early to Dash. I knew I had something there. We put him on, talked about him on the podcast. Now everyone's kind of roasting him on the right, like tons of people are. And now we have this funny new dash cam clip. Go ahead and give it a rip.
So Donald Trump just invaded and violated my butt with his ping hard nuclear white erection. Oh boy.
So for erection, they had to cut insurrection.
Yeah,
They
that-
cut insurrection.
That
in
was the
half.
edit of that was the chef's kiss edit.
Yeah, I wanted to do one where we make Dash say the N word.
Ooh.
Yeah, and put that out there. Like, Dash, what is this?
N. I. And then whoever edited that, we were going to try to shout him out because that was a fantastic edit. But I went back to their Twitter and it said, this tweet is from an account that no longer exists. So
They got to him.
they got to him. Dash has goons, apparently.
Dash has goons. That's so true. If you guys make more Dash edits, please send them to us. All right, that's our housekeeping. That was a great housekeeping. Let's move on to Cringe of the Week. All right, first clip of Cringe of the Week. This was a person I've seen on TikTok and Instagram going viral. It's a girl. It's the girl with the huge mouth.
Yeah.
So
She's kind of a pet of
Yeah.
mine, at least. I like to check in from time to time.
Yeah, one of Ratboy's pets. Let's look at this clip that she posted.
I know I have a big mouth, but like I didn't think that it was like that big. But it was like the children of America of TikTok that were really like, no, your mouth is like scarily big. It's like, I would say make it your biggest asset. Like make it it's your superpower. It's the thing that makes you unique and special and different than everyone else walking. There's too many people that are too similar. And I think everyone should be celebrating what makes them different, what makes them unique. That's all.
Yeah. So she basically said the quiet part out loud where she was like, I was a normal person. And then everyone, the young people on TikTok said I had a huge mouth. And now I stuff my face like an insane person.
You just started stuffing it.
You were like a normal lady. You probably worked a job. And now you wake up and you go, and you stuff your face full of food.
Dude, and I don't blame her. Like, you can probably get like a nice little brand deal, like, oh, the biggest sub, Quiznos subs or something. She stuffs it in, so I don't blame it, but it's like, God, you're just reduced to your gigantic mouth now.
And that's her identity. And it's similar process for the trans kids on social media, I think. Ooh. Where it's like, oh, you're a trans or you're a poly, whatever, or you're a cat boy or a demi-queer. And then you say, oh, yeah, I'm a demi-queer. Then you post it to TikTok. And then all the people are like, retweet, you're the best. This is so great. You're so brave. And then you're like, all right, well, I'm a demi-queer two-soul. What's the two-spirit? Mm-hmm. And then like, oh, two-spirit. And then you get more and more. So it's kind of like it feeds that same thing in the brain of like going viral, like the dopamine. And then you kind of get addicted to it. And then you almost have to, you can't backtrack. Like she can't backtrack and be like, actually, my mouth is normal. I'm not doing this anymore.
She could have been.
Has to keep going.
Yeah. And she could have been a girl who just like, oh, she's got a big smile.
Yeah.
Oh. But then she does that thing where she unhinges the jaw and goes full like raptor or whatever you want to call it. And makes silly faces. It's like, I don't know. Is this embarrassing for anybody? Does anyone have any shame?
I think it should be a little bit. It's like her least flattering thing.
That's what I'm saying. If you accentuate the freakish feature that you have,
and then it goes viral, and you're like, oh, that means good. It's like viral means good. Keep going. Like take it into a worse direction. And that explains the trans kids, I think, especially on social media and TikTok.
Yeah. Interesting parallel. I did not think you were going there.
Yeah.
But I agree.
And I think if you had like a trans kid and then said, hey, no phone for 6 months, I think that you would have less of a trans kid by the end of it.
Yeah.
Fair
100%. Point? Incredibly. I feel like we've been preaching that type of point forever. Yeah. So 100%.
Very nice. All right. Moving on. Drag story reader, drag queen.
My name is Professor Lionel Longlegs. My pronouns are they, fair, fairs, it, and they, them is just fine. So if you wanted to refer to me, you would say Faye is a drag storyteller. It loves to read, and some of their favorite books are Where the Wild Things Are, and From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. And I have been reading with Drag Storyteller, with Drag Story Hour, for a year and a half. And my drag character is a drag thing that can be anything in the world. Today I'm space, a lot of times I'm a notebook or a car, all sorts of wonderful things.
I think that's enough. Yeah. So this person it's interesting.
It's NYC Drag Story Hour.
NYC Drag Story
Which
Hour.
I think takes public money. I'm pretty sure.
Probably at the public libraries. It's been doing this for a year and a half. I feel fine saying that. It's been doing this for a year and a half. And then this is interesting. Someone did some research on the drag story and here's her kind of progressing into her, I don't know what to even call it.
Into her final form?
Final form.
It says before college,
college, normal, nice girl. Graduation, you got the seed planted in your brain. Mm-hmm. After college, you're a full-blown not even a real person anymore.
Yeah. And my initial thought was like, if someone wants to look kind of like a demon, like she says she's space and stuff, but if someone's going to look all black and like paint your face and look freakish and stuff, it's like, believe them, Yeah. Like if this person's giving you demon vibes, like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go over here now.
Yeah. If the person's giving demon vibes, it's very rarely not a demon.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like the demon fully runs that girl. And we see her progression before college, after. Mm-hmm. So it's like, makes sense. You go to college, you're away from your parents, you're free to do whatever, and then you kind of fall into these downward spiral traps from like these trans people. Mm-hmm. But now she's a drag queen storyteller, and she's talking to kids who are probably, 4 to 10 years old? So it's like now you're doing what they did to you in college and planting that seed of weirdness, but you're doing it for children who are way younger, way more susceptible. So it's like the amount of kids that are going to get weird from this are way higher than if they waited until college to get weird.
Yeah, and they-thems don't form in a vacuum. They-thems don't form in a vacuum. They form when someone keeps pulling a thread. So
yeah, so that's how that played out.
Shout out to Based Latin.
Yeah,
this guy, he's an Instagram account that we follow, and he's been doing a lot of these like kind of source material type things.
He's been sending us great stuff. Next clip, let's do The Girl is Fat Because of White People.
Of course.
I'm going to prove to you why white people are the reason I'm fat today.
I'm going to prove to you.
If white people didn't go looking for spices, then various sea routes to Indian subcontinent and Africa and other places of the world would not get discovered. And if they didn't get discovered, then East India Company would never come to Indian subcontinent. And if they didn't come, then the fertility of the land would not get destroyed because they forced us to cultivate tobacco and dyes and opioid, things like that. And that destroyed the fertility of my country. And then if that didn't happen, and if they didn't exploit and extract resources until my ancestors were left with nothing to eat, we wouldn't move to this grain-heavy, very little nutritious diet that we have today. Also, if white people didn't come to the Indian subcontinent, then my ancestors would not go through 50 small, medium, large famines in a period of 200 years.
That's enough.
Yeah. We know where she's going with it.
Yeah, we know where she's going with it. That's interesting. They just blame it on white people looking for spices.
Yeah, that's
what
the
we
thread.
were up to. We were just trying to find like spices to make better food.
Yeah, we were rooting around, and then England was for the most part, and then the Dutch East India Trading Company, of
course,
was really rooting around. They had a monopoly, private army, all that.
So that's why she's fat.
Well, I just have one question: who puts the food in your mouth?
That's very fair.
What color is the hand that puts the food in your mouth? Is it brown, or is it a white guy going, here comes the grain-heavy airplane from 400 years of oppression?
That's so true.
But yeah, obviously, she's going for like some historical thing. It's like, what if white people didn't? I don't know. Japanese people probably would have got to you. Like, I don't know. Somebody would have filled the gap. The world was not just going to be unexplored forever.
Yeah, it's so true. What if no one moved anywhere? It's like there would have been another group right behind him who would have done something similar. Let's show some of the food from a place that hasn't been colonized by white people. The White Devil, these horrible people that colonized all these countries and did these horrible things. Let's see what they're eating in a place where white people haven't gotten to.
This black piece is a meatloaf made from mosquitoes. It takes 500,000 mosquitoes to make one. At least 100,000 mosquitoes in one bite. Tastes very much like fish meat. Little brother tasted the price response is very real. Every year when the rainy season, Africa Lake Victoria will appear thousands of mosquitoes. Everywhere will form a black whirlwind. The scene is quite shocking. In severe cases, it can block the view. The people here are very happy to see it. For them, mosquitoes are meat. It is a rare treat every year. Catching mosquitoes.
Eating bugs like that?
They're swinging a pot around and just like getting what they get.
And then they take the mosquitoes and they make mosquito meatloaf.
Yeah.
Damn white people ruined everything.
White people made you fat, but they're still eating mosquitoes in places, lady.
Yeah. You can pull this up and get Thai food brought to the door in 25 minutes. And y'all are eating mosquito meatloaf?
Which actually might be a point for her.
Yeah,
white people made the apps. White people did all the
you got options.
Preservatives.
You got options.
Yeah,
you got convenience.
No one's forcing you to not eat the
if
salad.
we didn't bother you, you'd be eating mosquito meatloaf. Mosquito meatloaf is like probably the most disgusting food I can imagine.
Yeah, and it's like what the mosquitoes that just bit somebody. So there's like little chunks of blood in there.
Human blood mosquito meatloaf. You guys had it way better without us.
Malaria season.
All right, let's move on. Kentucky fans flip car because they won a football game?
Yeah. They beat Florida. And this is back at school.
They flip over some Toyota Camry.
Yep. They celebrate. That's it.
Lots of energy there. Lots of young people energy there. Where was that energy when they shut down the whole world and stole all of our stuff? We could have used that when Dr. Fauci forced everyone to get the vaccine.
Yeah, where was that energy when they arrested the paddle boarder? Yeah. Where was that energy when they, were putting masks on kids and now all they talk out of the side of their mouth and can't even fully develop words?
Yeah.
Where was that?
You guys are doing it because you're happy about Florida and Kentucky football. Like, who cares? And a lot of people in the comments are getting mad and they're saying, like, if this was a black person flipping the car, they would be arrested in a second. If this was a black person doing this, they would call it rioting and looting and the police would kill them. It's like,
the police would kill them. Just bang. The cop takes a shot. Bang, bang, bang. Shooting ducks.
Where were you for the last 2 years? Like, didn't BLM torch cities completely and not get in trouble at all? Didn't they get bailed out by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden?
Yeah.
But if this was a black person, it would be way different. It's like, what are you talking about?
They're going to arrest all these kids too. Yeah. They're going to find them.
So that's the part I don't get. If this was black people, it would be way different.
So what's your main point? That this energy over a football game is just like
the energy
nothing?
of a football game is a waste of energy. It's a waste of young man energy, wasting it on that. And then the double standard people think exists doesn't exist because BLM went and rioted and looted for a year and no one did it basically anything.
Yep.
So
no argument here.
Yep. Next clip. Let's do some COVID stuff.
All right.
After 2 years and 7 months of COVID restrictions, all mandates are gone in just under 6 hours. So
6 hours. Remember that? The zero COVID, everyone locked down.
Yeah. New Zealand was one of the most annoying and worst. Australia and New Zealand really got out of hand.
Yeah. They basically tested how far they could take their COVID restrictions in those two places.
Yep.
And they just tested it and were like, all right, what can we do? And they basically got to we can put people in camps.
Put people in camps, zones where you could just be pulled over and it's like, what zone are you in, mate? And it's like, well, that's unacceptable. And then one of the most annoying things about watching this was Jacinda smiling through so you won't be able to go to your house or to your mate's house? And I just wanted to shake her.
Yeah.
And she has I'm a mother, but that stupid bobbing head smile while she's taking away your freedoms. It's we need those Kentucky fans to be doing something with that.
I wish. And then play that next Jacinda clip.
Yeah, here you'll see the smiling.
People use masks for their own individual reasons. They may personally be vulnerable. They may have events they want to make sure they're not unwell for. They may not have had COVID-19. We all just need to respect everyone's individual decisions.
Now it's time to respect everyone's individual decisions.
Yeah.
There was a couple years where we weren't, where we were going as far as we can and locking people up and putting them in camps and taking their jobs away and not letting them go to school and forcing them to get an experimental vaccine. That's been pretty much proven to be not very good. But now it's time to respect people's decisions.
Yeah, the individual.
The individual.
The toothy grin and the bobbing head. I hate this woman. And the other thing is, that's 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2 years and 7 months of COVID restrictions for these Muppets.
Absolutely nuts. There was a really good tweet that basically summed it up. And it's from this guy, Viva Frey. The tweet is, it went from Jenny McCarthy, the Hollywood celeb, is a crazy anti-vaxxer, to Dr. Robert Malone, the co-creator of the mRNA vaccine technology, is a crazy anti-vaxxer. And that was totally okay with way too many people.
Yeah. I actually saw, I think it was Denmark, just banned or barred extra COVID doses for healthy people under 50.
Oh, nice.
So there's a little bit of, pushback in certain places.
There was also a thing that said that the military forcing everyone to get the COVID shot was unconstitutional.
Yeah, it said new docs confirmed Pentagon unlawfully forced all U.S. service members to take unlicensed COVID shots. No FDA-approved shots were available. A new FOIA document obtained by the dossier provides without a doubt that the U.S. Department of Defense did not have FDA-approved COVID-19 vaccines in its possession, despite top DoD officials claiming otherwise, while unlawfully forcing service members to take the shots under the very real threat of separation, court-martial, and other severe ramifications.
Interesting. So we were basically obviously correct on that. We were also saying to people, don't get the shot if you don't want it, and keep waiting it out, because eventually the courts will catch up, lawyers will get involved, and you will be proven right. And then, like it's happening now not everyone has to get it or whatever. All you had to do was really wait it out.
Survive the short-term pain for the ultimate win, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Moving on to our next piece. This is my favorite piece of Cringe of the Week this week. Jimmy Kimmel did a bit at the Emmys where basically it was like the Late Night Comedy of the Year award. And Jimmy Kimmel, I think, was presenting it. He was up for it. And he's been up for it for 13 years in a row. And he has never won. So he did a bit when he didn't win, where he just fell on the ground and pretended to be dead.
He didn't win, and so he fainted or whatever.
He did a fake faint, and this other lady won, this black lady won, and because she's black and he did a bit they didn't like, everyone's saying this is white privilege, this is racist, this is what white privilege looks like, Jimmy Kimmel's ruining this black woman's moment, all that stuff.
Should I play it first?
Yeah, check out a couple of them.
Skipping forward here. So she wins, and Jimmy Kimmel's up there laying on the ground, right?
Laying on the ground.
Pretending to be dead.
Jimmy, wake up, I won.
And there's dead Jimmy.
Jimmy? Okay, hold my phone. My goodness.
See, everyone's clapping, everything's normal, it's a bit, maybe you didn't think it was funny, I get it, it's a little funny.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel has trash bits, I get it.
Like, it's not a huge deal, but now everyone online is freaking out saying this is white privilege, Jimmy Kimmel's using his white privilege, and he ruined this black woman's moment, where it's like, not everything needs to be a racist white privilege incident if it happens to a black person.
Yeah.
Like if a black person gets cut in line in the store, or if someone walks into a restaurant and there's a black hostess and they turn around right away and leave, maybe it's because they saw the bartender who went to their high school with them and they don't feel like talking to the bartender.
That sounds personal.
Maybe a black person got cut in line because they saw the person who came in saw two registers and thought there were two different lines. It's not like, oh, I'm cutting this black person because they're black and I'm white and it's like a white supremacy thing. Like, not everything has to be this racist incident where we apply like the worst possible motives to the person, because it ends up making people feel like they have to be on eggshells around black people. And if you have in any situation or any encounter with a black person that isn't like perfectly ideal, then it's like oh, you're being racist, or this is because she's black. And it's just like, you can't just make a joke and do a bit that maybe not everyone liked. Why does it have to be some like...
There's no room for error.
Yeah.
Right?
There's no room for... It has to be... Now it's like evidence of like this horrible, way worse thing, when it's just a person making a joke. And it's like, oh, it's not racist if you make a joke with the black person who's the butt of the joke, or is the person who's in the joke.
Yeah.
Because that's actually looking at them as equals.
Exactly.
Where everyone can get roasted. Everyone's involved. It's like, if you're going to do a joke and say, I'm not going to make a joke about a black person, that's actually more racist, because you're saying, I'm here, black people are here, I can't make fun of them because they're below me.
Exactly. I can't talk down.
Yeah.
I can't go down. And to be honest, like, I know the point you're making, and obviously everyone in our audience agrees, like, race has nothing to do with it. It was a trash bit, but people on Twitter are going to say whatever they want. But Jimmy Kimmel couldn't have happened to a better person, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the good boy. Donald Trump, mean. And he plays by all the rules and does all the things, except for that little blackface incident in 1999 or whatever it was.
The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar video or whatever.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, yeah.
But so anyway, it's like, I love it when a good boy, as we call him, somebody who plays by all the woke rules, who plays by all the shit, gets a little taste of that like backlash,
Yeah.
It's like, Jimmy, this is the bed you made. Hop in.
Yeah.
Hop in. You got to apologize now, buddy.
It's time to get in the bed you made.
Yeah.
But now we're not allowed to do that. There needs to be no bad encounters for black people. Anything less than a perfect, polite encounter where you have reverence for these black people is now racist, because this is the post-truth world that George Soros has created.
Yeah. Yeah. And another George contributed to, right?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. George F.
GF.
Which takes us to our next section, the Urban Decay section. Let's see what we got here. Our first clip of Urban Decay.
When you wake up in the morning, your front door is open, you look over, there's some random man sitting on the floor drinking soda, watching you sleep, part one.
So he wakes up in his house, and there's just a stranger street rat on the floor.
Yeah.
But maybe that's white privilege. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, let him lay. Jimmy Kimmel can't lay down. This guy can, though.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel can't lay down and do what he wants. This guy, you have to offer him something.
And the first reaction, of course, is to film for the TikTok instead of immediately start swinging and fighting this guy and getting him out.
How insane is that?
I think in Illinois, the cops won't even take him out starting in January or whenever they pass that bill.
So you call the cops with the Safety Act or whatever in Illinois and say, hey, there's someone in my house who I don't know.
My hands are tied. He gets the left half of the fridge.
And it's like, well, we're not sending anyone. You gotta have to deal with it yourself. Yep. But you also can't protect yourself with any weapons or anything. So it's kind of just Mad Max world now.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Cenk Uygur had some great before and after tweets. In June of 2020, he said, I'm done. I'm now supporting defund the police 100%. I already largely agree with the substance of the argument, and now I'm down for the framing too. There is no reform or transformation that can fix this. We have to start over, completely rebuild policing in this country. And then a few days ago, Cenk tweeted, will people who came up with the defund police slogan admit they were wrong? It was wildly counterproductive framing. You don't speak for the left, and neither do people pushing the counterproductive abolish prisons. Polls show that almost no one on the left agrees with you. A full 180.
I can't believe people do full 180s this much.
Especially like the framing too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is he had deep thoughts about this the first time he tweeted it. He's like, there's two pieces of it, the substance and the framing. And he's like, I'm on board with both. And now it's a complete flip-flop.
Like, who did the substance and framing to this thing? This is crazy. Yeah. No one agrees with this. But that's what happens. You just kind of, like Bill Maher does, just, whatever the right thing is in that moment to get you points, just say it.
And that's what I'm saying. This was June 25th, 2020. This is the peak of the riots, COVID riots. Riots were okay during COVID, remember? That wasn't a super spreader event. So he got caught up in the moment on the bad side of it instead of sticking to his fundamentals. And look what happens. You do a full 180 because you're a Muppet.
And it's funny because when he's talking now there's election coming up, and he's like, anyone who's saying defund the police is wrong, stop saying it, no one supports it. It's like, that's the correct take now because elections are coming up and there's so much crime in these Democrat cities. And then you have to like do an honest tweet. And then it's just like, you completely used the same words as 2 years ago. And I guess hopefully no one remembers.
Got to the exact opposite conclusion. And I'm sure someone just control F on Twitter framing and let's see, or defund the police. Yeah. He made it a nice hashtag for us.
Yeah,
thanks,
exactly.
buddy.
Next clip, Pitbull attacks Clydesdale. This should be an uplifting, actually.
Pitbull's going crazy, getting kicked by the horse.
It's okay.
Mindless Pitbull keeps coming back. Gets hurt, keeps coming back. Clydesdale's a little tied up, obviously.
Everyone's screaming and freaking out.
Go with Justin. Go with Justin. Go with Justin.
Oh, here comes the real stomp.
You see how that got resolved?
Yeah.
When everyone was screaming and crying and the kids are crying and yelling and the ladies screaming, the Pitbull's we're in the Pitbull's world.
Yeah.
Where
no one's in charge.
All the tones are all like up high and frantic, and that feeds the Pitbull's brain, and it's not going to stop him, and he does whatever he wants. And then someone comes over and starts yelling, easy, easy, in a low bass voice, and everyone chills out real quick, including the dog.
Yeah.
And that's how you resolve things.
Yeah. You need that deep bass voice. Pitbull doesn't respect the little screaming and whining.
Yeah.
He goes, ooh, that's good.
So toxic masculinity saves the day. And if we had done, I guess, what this other lady's approach was and took the other lady's lead with her whiny, like pleading, crying, please stop, pray sounds, you get what you get.
Yeah. I will say masculine energy plus a pretty powerful horse kick ended the day. So there's two pieces, but
how about that? Everyone was going crazy and frantic. Even the other guys chasing the dog. And those high pitched, like that dog loves that.
Yeah.
And then easy, easy. And the dog's like, what is that?
Yeah. Someone's here to mess me.
What's that? Now the dog is on alert. So toxic masculinity saves the day once again. Let's do our Philly drive-through.
Okay.
Someone recorded this video driving through Philly. Everyone's on drugs and
trash everywhere.
Everyone's on drugs. People are leaning weird. Drug dealers are whistling to alert people that a car is coming through.
Yep, spotters.
So just another fully destroyed city, destroyed city.
I'd love to see a picture of this block in 1950
Yeah.
and just see what was happening then.
Exactly. A lot of obviously the Democrat cities are going to shit. There was a stat that came out from San Francisco where half of the cities,
roughly a third, are looking to leave, and a majority say life in the city is worse than when they moved here.
Yeah, and then there was like a violent crime stat too, right? Like 1 in 2 people have had a crime happen to them?
Half of residents claim they have been the victim of a crime in the last 5 years. So that's 50%. And granted, it's going to be a majority like my window was broken, my car was stolen from, whatever. It's not like total victimization, but it's like when you start looking, you go 50%? 50%?
Mm-hmm. And then 1 in 3 plan on leaving. And that's after already how many people have left.
So that if you think about that overlap, 50% victims of crime, a third are thinking of leaving. So that little portion of the crime victims who are just like, I'm staying.
Yeah, not every person is thinking of leaving, but every person basically has been the victim of a crime.
Yep.
There's some math to do there.
A majority of residents say the city is collapsing.
Yeah.
Just like, guys, sounds like you need someone who knew how to run a city back in the day to come in and clean it up, because the progressive, the equity, climate change, inclusion running of a city kind of leads to just urban decay and fentanyl and your car being broken into.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how you get this next story where a pickpocket in Times Square has been arrested dozens of times over 30 years.
Pickpocket has been lifting from Times Square tourists, workers for 30 years. You'd think he'd just stick with the tourists, but he's getting the workers every once in a while.
30 years. It's a full-time job.
Exactly. An accused serial pickpocket who preys on Times Square tourists can't keep his fingers to himself, authorities said. Dedrick, I thought it was going to be Derek, but it's Dedrick Williams, 53, has a dozen arrests since March alone, the latest of more than 40 busts dating back to 1984. And yet he keeps getting released without bail. He is a prolific pickpocket preying on tourists and working people in Times Square for over 30 years. Ooh, we need to get Justin Awad to find this guy.
Interview him and ask him 3 times 3 times 3.
And then the article continues. It says there's no consequence, so he keeps doing it. And there's a couple other little blurbs. Another cop, like he's known to all the police. A cop says he's definitely targeting the area and picking on the most innocent people, tourists, who it is hard to believe are naive the amount of crime to the amount of crime in this city, blah, blah, blah.
30 years. Gets released every time with no bail.
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy you kind of would just say, hey, you're a criminal, you're not learning, you continue to be a criminal, you're locked up for 10 years?
Yeah. Well, one last point. Manhattan prosecutors asked for $30,000 bail, which I assume he wouldn't be able to afford. But the judge ordered that Williams be set free on supervised release. Supervised.
Yeah.
And that was my initial thought is, at any point, there's no adult in the room who just goes, hey guys, we got a serial one here. I know it's crazy. I know the rules say this and that, but like, let's make an exception here and just like kind of keep this guy at Rikers.
Yeah.
Right?
Like they have like this like equity thing and this like inclusion thing where they can't have like too many black people and people of color arrested. But it's like that doesn't mean none.
Exactly.
You gotta kind of arrest some still.
Yeah.
And that would be a person who you arrest.
Yeah, but so, that was my first thought. Like, nobody steps up and goes, I'm a special prosecutor for extenuating circumstances. You know, like, there's no mechanism in place to actually get justice.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very, very not good. Murderer who stabbed spouse 50 times released after 3 years.
Yeah, this says a killer who stabbed a stranger 50 times committed for 3 years before being released. So he probably pled insanity and they got him.
So it wasn't even a spouse. It was a stranger.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's okay. Committed for 3 years before being released, is now on a dating site describing himself as an easygoing adventurer who believes in universal connection, recently getting back from 2 years of travel.
And like the article and the people are all saying like, this is dangerous. This guy is like lying to people on the dating site. pretending that that's the issue. And it's like, isn't the issue you only got 3 years for stabbing someone 50 times, a stranger?
Yes.
Isn't that worse than him being on the dating site?
Yeah, we need to protect the women. It's like, we need to just lock him up. There's no result. There's no...
Yeah. He's going to be doing less time than like the January 6th people.
Yeah.
Who just like stumbled into the Capitol because they got ushered in. So isn't that kind of something?
Yeah, he spent a couple of years in a soft padded room and goes, I was traveling. I was backpacking Europe.
He's just schizo. Fully schizo. Yeah, I'm in Europe right now.
And
50 times stabbed too. That's not like self-defense, you stab somebody. That's like you just lost it and just stabbed away 50 times.
50 times. Okay, yeah. No, he's rehabilitated. Some like stupid, like fat social worker goes, yeah, it looks good to me. Lets him out. So, and not the funny part, but an interesting part of this is a friend or acquaintance of the victim who he stabbed 50 times was the person who like reported this and brought it all. Was like, what the hell? She's on a dating app and goes, that's the fucking guy who stabbed him 50 times. So it's like nobody was really looking. It was like someone happened to catch him.
Good. Well, he's out and he's single. Next clip, the bathroom fight. Let's do the second one, not the one Tucker already showed.
Yeah, do you want to do both? I'll just run this. This is the one where the kid gets his head thrown into the wall. Got to get stomped on the ground by the twice as big black kid.
White supremacy.
Kicked in the face.
Poor kid.
Beaumont, Texas.
A kid away from home in school, and that's what happens in school.
Yeah, the gigantic kid who probably got held back a grade is kicking you in the face in the bathroom where there's no cameras. Imagine the white wimpy kid at one of these schools just being like, I'll hold it, or like asking to go during class instead of in between breaks. So then you want to show the other one?
Yeah, let's do the next one too.
Which is
more white supremacy.
More white supremacy in the same town, I believe.
Really?
Beaumont, Texas. These are both coming from, I think they might be different high schools, but they're both Beaumont, Texas. So here you go.
Stop playing with me. Bitch.
Another face kick on the ground.
Kick in the face.
1, 2, 3, 4 goons just watching this little kid get beat up and kicked on the ground.
Yeah, and if this obviously was reverse situation where it was a white group of white kids beating up a black kid, they would burn the whole town down again.
2020 round 2, guys, come in.
But this is ignored. D.L. Hewley's not interested in this case. Doesn't matter because white supremacy is an issue.
He sees racism when Elmo ignores a kid, but this, it's like, we don't know the context. It'll be something like that.
That's so true. And like now it feels like more than ever, and we've talked about this in the show, there's like this animosity, there's like this black versus white race thing.
Yeah.
Where black people think that white people are the oppressors because of the media and everything that's been told to them in school and at every level. And reinforced by every institution we have in our country. Mm-hmm. So now there's like this thing where like black people think that they owe some pushback against white people. And if you fight a white guy, it's okay. And you beat him up, it's okay. And then on the other end, to back them up, no one gets in trouble. No one gets arrested. Everyone gets released on no bail. So it's like you commit these crimes, you beat these people up. And instead of getting in trouble for it, like you would have in like the 90s, now you get let go and you almost get like a slap on the wrist and it's like, oh, get back out there.
Yep.
You didn't really do anything too bad because the victim was white.
Yeah.
So it creates this double standard that makes obviously these groups not happy with each other and also makes white people frustrated.
Of course.
So there's going to be a retaliation. So then white people might go beat up a black person. And then when that happens, that'll be the George Floyd thing that kicks it all off.
That's the hate crime part. That's like when in football they say that the ref always sees the guy retaliate.
Yeah.
And so that's what it would be in the justice system too.
100%. So we have this stuff happening. It's going to keep bubbling and boiling over. White people will get mad. They'll fight back. They'll have a clip like this on social media. And then everyone will go, look at this. This is the thing we told you about. This is a white person attacking a black guy or a white person shooting a black guy. And it's going to be because of the
hate crime. But the preamble to it was nothing. That was just kids being kids.
That's the dynamic now. But do not fret, do not be down, do not get discouraged. We are coming into our uplifting gold section.
Yeah.
All right, our first uplifting
Hard
gold
not
clip.
to fret when you see little kids getting beat up by someone twice as big as them too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the kicks on the ground, the kids doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gotta be some sort of rule when like a person's just doing this, protecting their head. Anything you do on top of that is like an aggressive more assault.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
not
what I
just
mean?
a fight. It's not just like a bar fight, and it's like, oh, you got knocked out, and then you hit your head or something. Like you were squaring up too.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting stomped out on the ground in the fetal position in school.
Yeah, a UFC ref would have called it like 5 strikes ago.
Yeah,
right?
and that strike where you're kicking someone and you're standing and they're on the ground and you're kicking them in the face, that's illegal in UFC.
Of course,
'Cause
yeah.
it's like, and that's
you can't kick when someone's knees on the ground.
Yeah, and then that's
obviously. Not that real life you have to play by UFC rules, but it's just like that shows you how much of a
and legally too. If you kick someone while they're down, I think it counts as like a way worse form of assault.
like or attempted murder or something. But
It's along those
aggravated
lines.
assault.
Yeah,
Which in Illinois, you're good.
don't even bother calling the cops.
See you. Hey, we'll see you at your trial if you want to. If you want to come.
Exactly. So that's what's going on. All you can do is
and that's
make sure you don't become a victim to it.
Yeah, go into the bathroom with your boys, like go with the squad or
and
something.
then like stop. If you see that, you have to stop it. And then if you are a kid like that, you have to be strong and work out and like able to protect yourself.
Yeah, unpinnable.
Because no one's coming to protect you.
Yeah, and that's the thing too that makes it so that makes me angry. It's like kids don't have self-defense. They're in school. You can't have a weapon. You can't have a knife. You can't have a gun. You can't have even pepper spray or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so adults, they don't have that issue. But kids, you just get sent to the school where the teachers and security and whatever don't take care of you.
You know what? Yeah.
You know, the goons are in the bathroom. I'm sure those kids are straight A students up to fucking, they're charity workers on the weekends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know those kids are known to the faculty. They're known to be disruptive. Nobody fucking does anything. So,
and they're the kids that do the videos at like this in the school gym with the guns, and they go like, "Ooh, I got it on me, I got it on me." And it's interesting too because that fight, like people fight, kids fight. That's kind of part of growing up. But there's like a code to it. You kind of mentioned it about how like you don't kick people on the ground if they're knocked out already. Like it's kind of a thing.
Kid's not fighting. He covered himself for 5 blows.
Yeah.
Like
so growing up, like I have a great dad. Growing up, my dad told me like if you're ever in a fight, you never throw the first punch.
Yep.
But if someone throws the first punch at you, you finish the fight.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's like I'll never throw the first punch. So it's like I'm kind of like legally liability wise for my dad covered
100%.
where it's like I'm only going to fight someone if they punch me first.
Yep.
And then when they do, I'll beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no situation, there's no code, there's no man code or honor code here. These people are you're kicking people on the ground, punching people when they're knocked out, kicking them in the face.
Yeah.
There was no conversation with their dad that was like, yo, there's certain things you don't do that could ruin your life. You never throw the first punch. There's an honor code that doesn't exist anymore.
There might have been no conversation with their dad ever.
Potentially ever. That's what it looks like. That's the kind of behavior.
That's what I'm saying.
Those young kids, they're acting like they have no father and they just have a mother who's doing her best to rein them in, but that's not the same.
Yeah. And she hears the story, school called again. And it's like, what? He didn't do anything. And here's the sob story. And it's like, I'm too tired from working my shitty job, like standing all day to do anything. And yeah.
And just beat up that white boy. And it's like, well, what happened before that?
He called me.
Yeah.
Blank check.
There's a letter between M and O.
Yeah.
And he called me that word.
Yeah.
All right. Don't get too down. Moving on to Uplifting Gold. Our first Uplifting Gold clip.
If that doesn't get you mad, I can't let it go. But if that doesn't get you mad, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Hey, I know what I would do if I was there.
Yeah, I'd clean it up.
I'd really clean it up. And I'd be able to clean it up against multiple people. I'm not just patting myself on the back. I know it.
I would be Butterbean in that bathroom fighting in a phone booth.
Butterbean.
No.
Fighting in a phone booth, 100%. Our Uplifting Gold. Before we get into our Uplifting Gold section today is brought to you by Bonus Land. Guys, we have a bonus episode of the podcast that comes out on Mondays, sometimes Tuesdays if I'm running late. It's great stuff. 20 to 25 minutes of extra content, more videos, some of the stuff we really can't show on YouTube. So it's really good, high quality stuff. We have some great topics this week. I am not even going to tell you what they are because they're spicy.
Yeah.
They're very spicy. Join Bonusland, patreon.com/Fleckus or YouTube join. Links are in the description. $2 a month. That's like 50 cents a week. And you get an hour plus content every month. So please consider joining. We have a cool little community. We all hang out. We all watch the show. There's like 1,000 of us. So if you're not part of that, you're kind of on the outside. I only care about people who join Bonusland.
Yeah. First question, you DM Fleckus or something. He goes, "What? Did you watch Bonusland this week?"
Yeah.
And
if you're a Bonusland person, I'll reply to pretty much all your DMs for life.
Whoa. And that's
or I'll
$2.
try.
That's $2.
That's $2. I'm cheap. I'm a little hoe.
Yeah.
All right. First clip of Uplifting Gold. Dog gets people to play with him for years.
Every morning he hangs over the wall in his backyard and drops a toy, knowing that when a person walks by, they're forced to play with him, and it works every time. Even neighbors who saw this video say it's true, and he's been doing this for years. One person posted a picture from 2014 showing Riley doing the same trick that he still does today.
Isn't that nice?
He's got history of it too. I like that.
Isn't that great? That's a nice uplifting boy.
I like a smart dog like that who knows what he wants. I feel like the difference between a smart dog and a dumb dog is ability to think one step ahead.
Smart.
There's like if this, then that, other than just living in the moment. Like, am I being played with? Am I being played with? Or the dog who's like, I can make a move here and get played with. And we see dogs like this all the time. And I mean, this is...
Jerry, I don't want to say Jerry's dumb.
But he lives in the moment a
Jerry
little too much.
lives in the moment a little too much. In the new place we just moved into, the bathroom like kind of automatically closes, but not all the way. Like the door just shuts to like almost shut. And Jerry walks into the bathroom and then the door closes behind him and he gets trapped in the bathroom.
And how many times has he been trapped in the bathroom?
Every single time.
Like 20 times.
Like 5 times a day. I have to close the door all the way so he can't get in. And he doesn't realize. He'll just go in. He'll be like, oh, what's in here? Oh, nothing. And then, oh.
Same as yesterday?
Door closed behind me. Hey, get me out of here. And it's like, dude, you don't think? You didn't remember this?
Yeah, that's
you don't
goon.
remember?
That's goon shit.
So I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, hey, some dogs aren't brilliant. Jerry's just not the smartest. Very sweet guy, nice, affectionate, good energy.
He's got good energy.
Not exactly brilliant. Not a mathematician.
He's brilliant, not brilliant. Yeah, Jerry is a emotional support animal, which he is in real life.
Yep.
And I was thinking I might take him in the pool here at the new place I live. And then if they come out and say, hey, you can't have dogs in the pool, I'm like, he's my emotional support animal. He goes in the pool or I end it.
I'll kill myself.
I'll kill myself. He's going in the pool. Let him swim with me or I'll end it. So that's kind of that's kind of funny.
That's kind of what he's up to.
Yeah, he's just a prop for me to do bits. Next clip, dog tries to eat cars as he's driving by. This is nice, uplifting dog stuff. Every car that passes, he gives a little bite. That's nice.
He's playing his game. He plays it. He likes to time it. He does that. You know, he's smart.
He thinks he's up to something.
Yeah.
All right, next clip, little mermaid reaction.
You want to go to raccoon?
Let's do the raccoon.
We might as well get the animals all grouped together.
Yeah. We're going to have to mute this music. Wipe my eyes. Make it all my
Raccoon. You see why I like this? He's giving him, I think, a Skyline chili dog.
A full thing.
Full, biggest Skyline chili dog. It's like, I know raccoons obviously don't have a great memory or whatever, but the ability to change one raccoon's entire month, you know? The best meal, the best thing he's ever going to get.
He's been eating trash, he's eating scraps.
And it cost $1.99 and it was fun.
Yeah.
You know?
He was eating trash and scraps for so long, and then one time he just got handed a
You're never
going to
believe this.
You're never going to believe what I was eating. All right, next clip, Little Mermaid reaction. This is pretty good.
Black Mermaid on screen.
Was it just me, or was that with Whitney Houston?
Is it just me, or is that Whitney Houston? Which is the right take.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting so mad about Little Mermaid being black. It's like, guys, did Jeffrey Epstein's friends let you down again? You're mad. Everyone's upset because Disney did something you didn't like. The communist Disney, worst sellout ever, biggest example of a corporation like subverting the populace of all time, pedophile people.
Did you forget about that LGBT Zoom call leak thing where they're going to put more gays in everything? Yeah. Not surprised
Buzz
anymore.
Lightyear's getting glucked at the cabana now by some little pool boy.
Oh, yeah. A little twink Mexican pool boy.
Yeah. And now did you guys get let down by Jeffrey Epstein's friends? Oh, dude, they ruined it.
Yeah, Disney Plus, you don't need it, guys. Big surprise, you don't need it.
Exactly.
And I saw somebody talking about that before, like, if you don't show your kids Disney, they'll never have any desire to go deeper into the Disney hole. You know?
No need to go to Disneyland.
No need to go to Disneyland. No need to get the toys, the T-shirts, all the overpriced little Chinese merch. Hey, they have a good hustle. But, they kind of let us in. They let us in a lane where we go, what? You're doing this shit to our kids? Okay, we'll cut you off. And we have, and other people should too.
Yeah. So don't get let down. They were never on our side to begin with.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Literally.
All right. We have 2 clips left. Drone proposal.
And guys, you know black people. They're swimming.
Yeah.
You know what they
love
do.
to swim.
They're like fish. Michael Phelps was black.
The new Netflix series.
Yeah,
Phelps.
Michael Phelps, and it's Chris Tucker going, well, looks like I'm going to have to bail us out again. And he dives right in.
Black people love to swim. This is their thing. Let them have Little Mermaid. Red hair.
Come on.
Who else? Who has red hair?
Exactly.
Scottish, Irish, and black people.
Yeah, 100%, man.
All right, drone proposal. This is cool. This is just a quick clip. So this is just a drone proposal. Someone got proposed to with drones. The drones made these shapes. Pretty cool, to be honest. That's pretty interesting stuff. Very cool. Next clip, last clip of the day. Kid off the bus. First thing he says. This is my favorite clip of the episode. First day of school.
Mommy? Yeah. Terrible sandwich, by the way. Thanks for letting me know.
Terrible sandwich, by the way. That is the clip of the day. All right.
Hey, first things first. He wanted to get it out.
Another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. ShopFleckus.com for the best merch in the game. Please support My Patriot Supply and Bonus Land. And before we go, we have 2 things to get to. Number 1, we have a Fleckus fan who did some more horse aging for us. We all learned the horse aging technique a couple weeks ago. And we have podcast listeners putting that horse aging technique into action. Check this out.
Hi, Fleckas and Richard Ratboy. I'm Alexa. This is Cowboy. I'm 19. He's also 19. And the line on his tooth does go all the way down.
So he's probably around cool. 1920.
And he's also the coolest horse ever, so he gets an orange.
Very nice.
I like horses getting treats, too, and human food.
Yeah.
So I guess that means it stands up. That
horse aging technique is working. People are putting it into action. They're also wearing Helen Keller Denier merch. Same shirt as me. And it's the blown out version. She had the blown out version too.
That's early supporter.
That's early supporter. So our last clip of the day is a new horse aging technique. Using the horse's teeth, how can you tell if the horse is a boy or a girl?
I don't even really want to play this right now, and I will because it's in the show and it's in the thing, but horses have gigantic dicks.
Oh, yeah.
So this is dumb.
Well,
should I play it anyway?
Play it anyway. Not everyone's a pervert.
So are you able to tell if the horse is male or female by looking at their teeth? Of course you can. Let me explain to you. So this is a female because right in this area, there's no canine tooth coming down. There's a remnant of an itty bitty one right there, but if you look in and see no canines or really tiny ones, it's probably a female.
There you go. Good to know. So now we have more horse aging techniques. We're going to get all of them done by the end of this year. We're all going to know everything about aging horses. You're going to see a horse, you're going to be like, 2 to 3.
Let me check his teeth.
2 to 3 years old. It's a female.
That's a
It's
mare.
going to be good stuff. So thank you guys for watching.
I just checked the dick, guys.
Ratboy just checks the dick. Ratboy's looking at horse dicks a lot.
I'm not looking at the teeth to determine if it's a man.
Well, you're looking at some pretty inappropriate stuff then. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. We will see you in Bonus Land. Military guys are wearing this. They love it. They have a thing where they give a portion of their profits